Dungeons and Dragons' greatest unsolved mystery. The never-ending argument is finally resolved, only to start a brand new, never-ending argument. Wizards of the Coast is once again struck while the iron is hot to create yet another pointless controversy to drag attention to them. This feels a lot like the Thaco the Clown thing from whenever Thaco the Clown was. Was that Strixhaven? No, that was Wretched Light or whatever it was. It just feels like a purposeful attempt on Wizards of the Coast to piss us off and get people angry so they can go, ha ha. I mean, we haven't actually heard from them yet why they made this choice. We can speculate, but it's lasted 4 days longer than anybody ever thought it would. So they win. And all this comes down to the identity of this individual on the cover of the Red Box. Not the unusual stance they're in or why they're only wearing half a pair of pants, but who are they? Because apparently the greatest mystery for the past 50 years is people wondering who the individual on the cover of this box is, and that we've never been told who they are, and we've never seen their face. Now, I would argue that until a couple days ago, nobody cared. And really, when you talk about the Red Box, when is it ever this dude? It's 90% of every conversation about the Red Box is, the Red Box, the one with the dragon on the cover. The dragon is what pumps out at you because that's what Gary and Larry designed it to be when they agreed upon the artwork for this box. It's all about the dragon and the treasure. The sword guy is third in the things. And most likely the thing you remember Red Box is just categorically the dragon, right? So it's never been a mystery because it was never a thing. There's never, I'm not aware of anyways, Kirk versus Picard levels of argument over the identity of Sword Dude, right? I mean, I'm wrong. Could I be wrong? I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of it. It's never come up until 4 days ago, as far as I know. But if anybody knows differently, I'm happy to discuss it with them. Wizkids has decided that this was a girl and that it's always been a girl. Okay. Because we've never seen their face. Now, this is where things continue to explode. Several people have said, you absolutely see this individual's face in future artwork. It's absolutely a man. The character's adventure progresses through all the other boxes. There are pictures of the character where you clearly see their face, and it's clearly a man. Other people have said, well, no, you never see their face, but it's clearly a man, and Larry always intended it to be a man. Third people have said that the reason why you don't see the face is it's supposed to be you, that the identity is always supposed to have been nebulous. If you're a girl and you're looking at the picture, you see yourself a girl. If you're a guy and you're looking at the picture because you don't see their face, you see yourself. It was always intended to be you, because you would stand that way with a sword and a shield. Larry has said, no, it's always been a man. You guys have seen me paint women. You know I paint women a certain way. It's always been a man. But that got Larry in trouble for saying that. So he backpedaled and he said, well, no. I didn't mean to say that you're stupid if you thought it was a man or a woman or a sheep. What I meant to say was Gary and I intended it to be a man. In my mind, it's a man, but it's art. So whatever you see, that's up to you. If you see a woman, it's a woman. If you see a man, it's a man. If you see a table, it's a table. If you don't see it at all, again, it's your perception because it's art. I, as the artist, in my mind, in Gary's mind, in a large percentage of the people's minds, it's always been a dude. And if you look at the other art of the character and their progression, because apparently the character appears on other box tops and in things, and then again, we get into the weirdness of who remembers what correctly. It's always been portrayed in the artist's mind as a dude. There's the same dude in armor. There's the same dude riding a horse. There's the same, but again, there's plenty of people who say you never see your face. And there's plenty of other people who say, oh, yeah, you do see the face. And there's then a third group of people who are like, well, you kind of see the face, but it's still unclear. And then there's the fourth group of people who are just going, no, it's always supposed to have been you. And Larry kind of did sort of say in his second response that the intent was, yes, doesn't matter what I painted, it's what you see, right? So if it's supposed to technically be you, which is what it should have been. But for reasons that still have not been explained, Wizards of the Coast has decided it's a female because, in their words, or at least in their words, presents as a female because we've never seen its face. And because we've never seen its face, as far as they're concerned, at least in Wizards of the Coast logic, it's a girl. It's always been a girl. No, it's a man. It's always been a man. No, it's a girl. It's always been a girl. We never heard otherwise. No, it's a man. It's always been a man. No, has it though? I mean, now why Wizards of the Coast did this? Is it because the Adeptus Custodius thing? And they're like, oh, look what GW did, and look how upset people got. We can do the exact same thing. Is it because they really felt that there were no positive female role models in D&D to use for the final mystery figure for the run? So they're like, let's take this iconic figure and the mystery of their identity and clearly resolve that it is, as far as we're concerned, from 2014 going forward, it's been a woman. And in Wizards of the Coast logic, that makes perfect sense. Because Wizards of the Coast 1984 logic clearly states nothing before 2014 counts. So it doesn't matter what this box was in 2013, doesn't count. In fact, they haven't even mentioned it until a couple weeks ago. When was the last time Wizards ever even mentioned the box? No, because it doesn't exist until the moment in time they said, yes, now it does, which was what, a couple weeks ago? Or however long they've been designing that figure. Considering how crappy the figure looks, it obviously wasn't a very long time ago. So it feels like it was pretty recently that they decided, oh yes, this box exists in our convoluted rewritten timeline. And because it only exists as of recently, we can say whatever we want because it's ours. We own it. Lock, stock, and barrel. If we say it's a girl, it's always been a girl. If we say it's a sandwich, it's always been a sandwich. It's ours. We can call it whatever we want. Doesn't matter what the old guy who painted it think. Doesn't matter with the people who were playing the game before 2014, because as far as we're concerned, the game did not exist before 2014. Only 2014 till today matters. That's their logic. And that's how they're probably going to defend themselves. Either that or they're going to say, well, we only said it presented as female. Of course, their argument is hinged on the you never see their face. And there are plenty of people who've said, yes, you do. There's also plenty of other people who've said, no, you don't. Now, I found pictures of the individual that I thought was them, but then I was told by a guy repeatedly in my comments that I was wrong and I needed to get my eyes checked. So we go back to, all right, you guys claim the individual appears on other boxes. Please show them, But at the end of the day, Larry says it intended in his mind to be a chick. It's always been a chick in his mind, but again, it's purposely the back only because, that way you see whatever you want to see. If you're female, you see a female. If you're a man, you see a man. If you're a sheep, you see a sheep. And again, Larry also reminds us that it was never about Sword Guy. It was always about the dragon. That was what's supposed to pop. That was supposed to draw your attention to the picture. Sword Guy was an afterthought because it used to be part of a larger picture. And if you look at the larger picture, it makes way more sense. There is a whole thing going on. But if you looked at the crop version, which is what Gary wanted, then yeah, it was specifically designed to pop out the dragon. That's what sells. Sword Dude as an afterthought. Everybody is Red Box Dragon. That's the connection 99% of the people make. The identity of Sword Dude was never a thing until last week. But Wizards has plenty of other positive female role models they could have used as the final figure, going all the way back to, the beginning adventure with the cleric Arlena, to, so many other female characters that have gone through D&D history, past, present, future. It could have been anybody. It could have been any female. Alestriel Silverhand would have been perfect since she's so important to the Vecna, or Tasha would also have been perfect. Or they could have done what they're doing with all the other figures, because of all the other figures are, here's one version, here's the other version, right? Here's the old version, here's the new version. The Strahd figure shows us the old figure of Strahd, made up as a new figure, and then it shows us that unbelievably gorgeous new figure of Strahd. Same thing. Here's the figure of a guy, here's the figure as a girl. From the back, looks the same. From the front, one version male, one version female, because you want to pick the one that represents you the most as the art originally intended, right? Or they could have just picked another character and had two figures of the character. Probably a character who had more artwork, because this guy may or may not be on several boxes. And they could have done the same thing. Here's what they used to look like. Here's what they look like today. Here's what Strahd used to look like. Here's what we think Strahd looks like today. They could have done a whole bunch of things, but for some reason, they chose this path. And the only reason I can think of for why they chose this path, other than their convoluted perception of Dungeons and Dragons reality, is to force the narrative about how the old school views females and strong females and presents as females, i.e. transgender, how the old school views them, how all the players before 2014 treated women, view trans folks, the lack of inclusion, the sexism, the lack of allowing females to play. The only reason for Wizards to do what they did in the way that they're doing it is to force that narrative on the general public. And if you look at the responses, there's very few from the 5e crowd going, oh no, you're wrong. Most of the people who are going, oh no, you're wrong, are the people that Wizards wants to go, see, this is why these people need to live the hobby. All the people that this is catered to, all the people that believe the forced negative narrative are applauding their choice. Or applauding the choice, because guys like me need to leave the hobby because we never let girls play. And we hate girls. And we hate trans even more, right? So, yes. I think that was this. Now, I would love to say that after this 13 minutes, we're done talking about this, but you and I both know we're not. So we'll probably talk about this again tomorrow, which is exactly what Wizards of the Coast wants. Really, the best way to deal with this is to make it disappear by not talking about it. Stop fanning the flame. Stop drawing attention to it. Let's focus on the real shitty thing that Wizards of Coast is doing instead of all these, smoke and mirror shitty things. Let's focus our attention and our scrutiny on the brand new SRD that's coming out in 2025, because that's what they're trying to distract us from. Anyways, that's what I think. I assume plenty of you are going to post about how I'm wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about and I need to get my eyes checked and whatever. So feel free. And if anybody agrees with me, thank you. Till next time, you know what to do. You know who I am. Subscribe so I can help hit 2001 subs by August 4th. Support me by checking out my merch available on drive-thru. Hit that notification button so you never miss an episode. And have a great day. Hopefully the clouds will blow away. That's a rhyme. Get off my land.